Hello, I am Dr. Marvin Connelly Jr., the Superintendent of Cumberland County Schools. What is a superintendent? Well, you know what a principal is and what a principal does. Imagine that a principal is in charge of the entire school, but what if there was a principal that was in charge of all 89 schools in Cumberland County? Well, that's what you call a superintendent, the one who is in charge and responsible for all 89 principals and all 89 schools in Cumberland County. Let's think about the word superintendent. Let's break that word down. Tendant. Someone who perhaps attends to something. So what if it is superintendent? A little bit like Superman, responsible for a whole lot. So, superintendent, the man or woman who tends to a whole lot like Superman. Superintendent. Let's talk about the typical workday for a superintendent. The school buses start on the road at about 5:30 a.m. So as soon as the first bus pulls out of the parking lot, the superintendent has to be up, ready to go, and ready to respond if there is a concern with any of the buses. So my day starts at about 5:30 every morning. And normally I start at my office, but some days I start out at a school, visiting classrooms, visiting programs. Or I might have a meeting. Every day has a meeting. So I have a meeting. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 meetings all in one day. And during the pandemic, we had meetings on Zoom. So I would have 2 or 3 meetings all at the same time. One on my iPhone, one on my iPad, and one on my desktop. Meeting. But it's a lot of fun. But the best part of my day is when I get to be inside a classroom, or inside a school, with all of you to watch the phenomenal learning that you engage in. And then when the day is done, and I come back to my desk here and do paperwork and sign paperwork, sign letters, spend money for the district. When all that's done, then I go home, and usually I'm so tired, I lean back in my recliner and I go to sleep and start out over the next day. What I love most about my job is the opportunity to engage with the students, to watch the students as they learn, and watch the students as they interact one with another. The best part of my day, again, is when I'm out in the schools with the students. The most challenging part of my job is decision making decisions and recommendations to the Board of Education. Sometimes what the decision is not favorable by everyone. Some parents want this, some parents want that, some teachers want this, some teachers want that, some students want this, some students want that. It's a tough decision, but I always make decisions based on what's best for you, the students. But it's tough, and it gets very controversial sometimes. That's tough, but that's part of the job. All the subjects that you are learning in your classroom today, I actually use in my job. Math, we have over half a million with a B, dollar budget. And I have to manage that entire budget for the district along with my cabinet and monitor how much we spent, how much each school gets, how much is spent on each student. So math is very important. I have to do speaking engagements. So language arts, very important. I have to write letters, language arts, very important. We have students that are from different countries. So foreign language is important. I don't speak all the languages, but I have to have a general idea what language people are speaking. Foreign language, social studies, where people are from. In Cumberland County, we have students from multiple countries, and we have to understand the cultural differences. Understand, right here in North Carolina, the cultural differences. Social studies, very important. In my job as a superintendent, no decision is made all by myself. I have a team, just like a football team or a basketball team. I have a cabinet, and we make all our decisions together. We call that collaborative decision making and facilitative decision making, where everyone has an opinion and everyone's opinion is valued, and together we make decisions based on, again, what's best for you as students. And my team helps me make decisions. Very few decisions, if any, do I make all by myself. Perhaps one day you will be the superintendent. If you have an interest in being a teacher, being a superintendent, I believe it's best start out as a teacher and then become an assistant principal and a principal, and then work in central services and become a superintendent. And then you have lots of experience, lots of information. And guess what? You have to go to college for a long time. I went to college to learn to be a superintendent. I had to get a bachelor's degree, then a master's degree. I have two of them, and then a doctorate degree to be a superintendent. But it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. One of the funniest things that has happened to me as superintendent is when I went to a school and I began to talk to the students about technology. And I talked to them about my telephone when I was in elementary school. And my telephone, you had to dial the number one at a time. And the phone would go around, and the dial would go back, and you dial the next number. And the student said, "What kind of phone was that?" And they had no idea. I tried to describe for them my telephone, but no one could imagine a telephone that you have to hang on the wall, and the telephone is tied to the wall. The telephone would not fit in your pocket. It wouldn't even fit in your book bag. But the student said, "Oh no, I would not want that telephone." That was funny. Thank you for all that you're learning and all that you do. I have a wonderful position as superintendent in my job. I love my job. I love what I do. And whatever career you choose, always make sure you have fun. Have fun. You'll spend more time at work and in your career than you spend doing anything else. So whatever you do, have fun, have a ball, and always enjoy your career. Do what makes you happy.